Congressman, first just tell us, what should we be expecting here? How is this process going to work now the Democrats have introduced this article of impeachment?
Well, the first thing they're going to do is have debate tonight on the 25th Amendment resolution, and then we'll vote sometime late tonight, about 10:30, something like that. And then tomorrow, they've told us that we're going to have debate. They haven't told us how long that debate's going to be. It won't be in committee, which is the normal way that you would do this. It's not through a resolution voted on and then sent to a committee and then back. It's going to be a snap, quick process because they want to do it all in one day. So tomorrow we'll probably debate, probably have a vote on it tomorrow evening sometime. And
explain to everybody, is it even a feasible timeline? Just put aside whether they have the votes or not. Would they even be able to procedurally go forward with an impeachment and a removal of the president in 8 days?
No, because even if Nancy Pelosi were to transmit this bill as soon as she possibly could, you would need some kind of special vote of the Senate to accelerate the timeline. Otherwise, this is going to roll out. If I'm not mistaken, I thought that the Majority Leader McConnell said about 1 p.m. on the 20th, which ironically is about an hour after President-elect Biden will have been sworn in.
And Congressman, I have to ask, what are your feelings on Pelosi's effort here, the one that she's leading to have the president removed at this late stage?
Well, I have to tell you, I think it's because she is so filled with hate and rage towards Donald Trump. I mean, this is going to be the first president who they've tried to impeach before he was sworn in, and then for the entire 4 years he was in, and then when he's done. And the reality is, Buck, our country is sizzling right now. It is combustible, and this type of activity actually throws gas on the fire. So instead of cooling this thing down and trying to bring this back down to a more manageable level where people can have debate and rhetoric, they're trying to throw gas on this fire. And you still have tens of millions of people who look askance at the election and don't really believe in the legitimacy of the incoming administration.
Congressman Jim Jordan raised this. I wanted to have you react to it. Play the clip.
Turning to the 25th Amendment into a political weapon by demanding that the vice president invoke it to remove the president from office, I think is just wrong. Let's be clear. Democrats have been wanting to remove President Trump from office since he won the election in 2016. They failed with the Russia investigation, they failed with the Mueller investigation, and they failed with their first impeachment investigation. So here we are again, considering another divisive effort to go after President Trump.
It does seem that from a pure constitutionality perspective, the president is not incapacitated as much as the Democrats may be even more outraged at him than they have been for the past 4 years. What do you make of this move to try to use the 25th Amendment, to leverage the 25th Amendment to take the president out of office?
Well, it's wrong on a couple of levels. First of all, constitutionally, as you mentioned, he is not incompetent or incapable of carrying out his duties. He's perfectly capable. That's why he's flying down to the border today and visiting with the border and meeting with many people. The second thing is, if Congress wants to enact the 25th Amendment, there is a process actually in Section 4 of the 25th Amendment that says, look, what you get to do is you get to create a commission, and you use your commission, and then you go through it and decide that you think that he's incapable. But they're not doing that. In fact, they actually have a bill that the same guy introduced on October 9th that did that commission. But that was silly and wasteful. And so now they just say, oh, Mr. Vice President, you do it. So this is really constitutionally infirm and ludicrous, quite frankly.
And Senator Chuck Schumer has been talking about putting people at the Capitol on a no-fly list. There seems to be a move toward an enlarging of the counter-terror state to go after specifically not just domestic terrorists, but what are being talked about in Democrat circles as pro-Trump domestic terrorists. Here's what Chuck Schumer said.
Any of those who are inside the Capitol should not be able to fly and should be placed on the no-fly list. We are calling on the authorities, FBI, TSA, Department of Homeland Security, to put them on the no-fly list immediately. We cannot allow these same insurrectionists to get on a plane and cause more violence and more damage.
Very clearly, Chuck Schumer suggesting that anybody who enter the Capitol is essentially the moral equivalent of an al-Qaeda terrorist who would seize control of a plane and use it as a weapon or bring it down. And going even further than that, Homeland Security Committee Chair Bennie Thompson of Mississippi has said that he wants Senators Ted Cruz and Hawley, sitting U.S. senators who had nothing to do with the assault on the Capitol personally. They did not assault any Capitol building, on the no-fly list. Congressman, what is going on here?
Well, first of all, these people that actually broke into the Capitol, attacked the Capitol police officers, they have done the Trump legacy and Trump movement perhaps irreparable harm.
Yep.
It's really tragic. And they do deserve to be apprehended and prosecuted. But this notion that we're going to start saying that, let's say, Senator Cruz and Senator Hawley, because they exercised their constitutional and statutory authority to join in raising objections about the election, by the way, as the Democrats did in every one of the elections this century that a Republican has won, is just basically part and parcel to this entire cancel culture which we're seeing right now, which, Buck, you know it's the tech censor that's going on, in the tech media censorship that's going on, also with regard to the donors to Republicans, where they're saying we're not going to give you any more money. I mean, this is just more of the cancel culture. I believe that they're trying to get to a single party system and basically to destroy the Republican Party.
Congressman, before I let you go, I just want to know, what's the feeling like down there right now? What's the atmosphere on Capitol Hill in D.C. as a member of Congress?
It was very tense for a lot of reasons, and a lot of people are feeling a little bit insecure. They felt like they feel vulnerable here. They feel tense. It's not just on our side of the aisle, on both sides of the aisle, but certainly if you're a Republican and you realize that the Democrats are trying to use every means possible to centralize the power to themselves and then try to destroy the Republican Party and many within the party. It is disturbing, but I would say tense is the best word I can give you.
Congressman Biggs from Arizona, good to see you, sir. Stay safe, and thanks for joining us.